Hey, did you know that sometimes slavery can be good? Yeah, I didn't know either. I do a fair amount of talking about religion online, and one of the things I do is I sit and I have banners running over my head that say different things. One of those banners says, slavery is bad. We all agree. God doesn't, though. And I put an asterisk on the God because through discussions, somebody pointed out, you don't say which God you're talking about. That's true. I am basically talking about the Christian God. So, put an asterisk. But then, at some point, I had to put an asterisk on all because it turns out we don't necessarily all agree that slavery is bad. Comes as a surprise to me, but when you've talked to the number of people that I do that like to defend slavery, whether in the Bible or otherwise, you start to realize maybe it's not as universal as I thought. So what follows is a discussion I have with someone, Alan something. One thing that I've seen that has been common lately is Christian defenders, apologists, like to bring up a lot of whataboutism on this topic. What about modern day corporations forcing people to work for them? What about the Civil War, and what about this, that, and the other? He does go off a number of times, but lately I've gotten a lot more practice at keeping people on track. So I was able to kind of loop him around, but still he wanted to feather off into like different things. Still, in the middle of it, he says that slavery in the Bible at least was better than what we think of it now. Said something about property rights meaning something different before the English Civil War. This was new. I had not heard this. I wish I had had more presence of mind to explore that because I'd never heard it before, but he rage quit before I could really get to it. So anyway, here is that discussion. Please enjoy or not. Transition!
Really quickly, I just wanted to speak about the slavery thing.
Sure.
Yeah. Just to clarify, so like, one of the issues that we have, right? We use modern context. So like, for example, property, right?
Right.
Just to clarify, so like, when we talk about property, what you're doing is you're generally using the context of what property means after the English Civil War.
Incorrect.
Right. So what you're actually doing is like property rights when
Incorrect.
you're talking about property. Property means something very different in the time before the English Civil War. So like we're talking in English about property and slavery.
Okay.
When it means something different.
Okay.
In ancient.
So in what way is it different to own someone as property for life? How is this different?
Yeah, just to clarify. So like, for example, if you have property, like after the English Civil War, our concept of property changed.
Well, okay, so, forget that part. Just explain to me how what is in the Bible is different.
Yeah, so because property and like obviously they don't use the term slave. That's a modern thing that was actually created by generally by the Vikings, like enslaving most of the Slavs, and selling the Slavs into the world. But it's property. That's what really matters, right? When you're talking about a slave, you're saying that you have somebody and you're owning them as property. So property before the English Civil War, when you had property, it wasn't like you could do whatever you want with it. You had duties and responsibilities to that to your property.
What sort of duties?
What's that?
What sort of duties?
You had to take care of it. You had to.
Let me just cut in here. This is the second time he said it. We're talking about slaves as property, and this is the second time he said it.
Like, for example, you had to like feed and house and you had like obligations to your. So like everything in the ancient times was like, you had people that were responsible for you and you were responsible for other people.
Wait a minute. What part of your responsibility for your slave allows you to beat them?
Well, we get beat today even if we step out of line, right? Like
I was not talking about today. I'm talking about what happened then, if you're defending what happened then. So what part of taking care of your slaves then allows you to beat them?
If they're stepping out of line and they're causing chaos.
Okay. So Sour Patch
Does that
does.
happen? No,
Sour
but you're
Patch does.
laughing. But does that happen today to
I am
us?
not talking about
What we
today. Like, stop deflecting it. We're talking about what
No, I'm
God
not
says is okay.
deflecting, but like that's the
It
problem that you have. You're taking a context that you're not understanding. So, like for example,
no.
right?
Okay.
If you don't hold on, if you don't pay your taxes and you don't
I'm not talking about
raise the
today.
federal
I honestly do not care about today because the topic is what God said is okay in the Bible, and you're saying to me that because of the way things were, it was better, it was different. They were allowed to do it because slavery was
I
nicer and
didn't say it was
gentler.
better. Where did I say it was better?
Well, better than it was. Well, you're telling me that our idea of slavery today is mistaken as to what it was then because
Yeah, it's
then
a
it was beneficial.
misconception. I didn't say it's better or worse.
Oh well, okay. This is a side quest, but I do want to clarify. Would you say that whatever is described in the Bible as slavery is better than what we would apply for Civil War America?
You like the slavery that was in Civil War America?
No. Would you say that what was in the Bible described as slavery is a better situation than what is described as slavery in Civil War America?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you would say it's better. So great. So what's better about getting beat by your master?
Well, you keep going
And
on about the beat, and like I said,
yeah, yeah.
is
Well,
like
because you started by saying that because they have rights, duties, and responsibilities to their slaves. Okay,
I never said anything about rights.
I was incorrect about rights. I misspoke. But you said that they had duties and responsibilities to their slaves.
Hmm.
Does that allow them to beat their slaves?
Yeah.
In what way does that make it better than anything else?
Well, for example, the big problem with American slavery, right? So according even to the biblical text,
I still
is
don't care about
if
American slavery. I mean, what I want you to do is stay on the
you're the one
topic.
that brought it up.
No, you are the one who brought it up, and I'm trying to get
Oh,
away
okay.
from it.
I never.
So
No. You said was there a difference between that slavery and the American Civil War slavery?
yeah, I
You're the
know,
one that brought
but because I was just trying to tie down that because I wanted to make it clear that you think that the slavery in the Bible was better. So great, we've established that slavery then is just nice, and slavery in America was bad. Great. So what I'm trying to determine is
I
what
never
part
said
of the
nice.
what
Like
part
why
of
do you
the
keep putting?
what part of the slavery in the Bible was acceptable that I think it's bad and you do not think it's bad.
So, like, I'll give you an example, right? We have
Yammerhand,
there's
hello.
pros and cons. Like, have you ever read Wealth of Nations with Adam Smith? Because like Adam Smith's secular, he wasn't like a religious person, and he was talking about the pros and cons about slavery. He was saying we should free the slaves, but there is going to be a problem. There could be problems with that, and we have those problems actually today, right? So, like for example,
Still don't care about
you
today.
could work for a couple. Do you think it's like morally okay or ethically okay, however you want to say it, for you to work for like a company for like 30, 40 years?
Still
And
don't care
then,
about today. Still talking about the Bible and what God commanded.
yeah, but you're not understanding what I'm saying. We have to do a
I understand what you're
comparison.
saying. I do not care about what you're saying. What we're talking about is what is in the Bible and what God has commanded.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
But like,
Great. So we
if you
so
can't do comparison, are you like intellectually like have
let's go
problems?
to the.
So like, we need to be able to compare to today and like what's going on
I do not
today
need to
to
compare
actually have.
anything.
Yeah.
When God flooded the planet and killed all the babies,
Yeah,
I
no,
do
we're
not.
talking about slavery. We're
I
not talking about
I
that. Why
know.
are you trying to change the subject? Because you lost or what? So can we
Okay.
actually talk about the slavery or what?
When God flooded the earth and killed all the
No,
babies,
that has
I.
nothing to do with slavery. I was we were
All right.
talking about
I'm
slavery.
gonna
So
try it one
let
more
us move on to
time.
slavery.
I'm gonna try it one more time. If you interrupt me at the comma, we're not gonna get anywhere. When God flooded the earth and
Yeah,
killed all
okay.
the
You changed the
babies,
subject. You lost. Have a good day.
I'm not even gonna kick him out. I'm gonna make him do it. Yeah, there he goes. The sentence I was trying to say is when God flooded the earth and killed all the babies, I do not need to refer to some time in current life where a bunch of people were flooded and killed to compare to what God did. It doesn't matter what happens now in current day. That I can talk about what was bad about when God did it. So I don't have to. So it's the same thing. I really don't care about current day or like modern. I'm going to say modern day. You know what I mean? 18th, 19th century slavery does not apply to this topic when I'm trying to talk about the bad things God did. But that's fine. He couldn't handle it. What are you going to do? Outro.